With the increasing number of electronic fuel-injected engines showing up in the industry, we get a lot of questions about how do we deal with long-term storage for these engines. Also, the question comes up, is there even a difference between the carbureted engine for storage? The short answer is yes, there is. The biggest departure is the carbureted engine, typically you would treat the fuel with stabilizer, run the engine completely out of gasoline, and then it's ready for storage. The fuel-injected engines, we cannot do the run dry procedure on at the risk of damaging some of the fuel system components. So how do we deal with it? Well, we start out with some fresh regular unleaded gasoline, and we treat that gasoline with a fuel stabilizer. Now, the fuel stabilizer of your choice should protect against moisture in the fuel. It should protect against ethanol problems, as well as have antioxidants to help slow the degradation of the fuel down to the point where we can count on that fuel to start the engine next season. You're going to want to fill the tank of the machine completely up. We don't want to leave an airspace in there that could allow us to have potential moisture entry as well as degradation of the fuel on the surface. Keeping the tank full will stop that process from happening. From there, we're going to want to start and run the engine for at least 10 to 15 minutes. That way it protects the entire system all the way from the fuel tank to the injectors. Now, if we don't protect the system components here, what can happen is damage to our highly vital fuel system components. Now, we have a high pressure fuel pump in the system here, and we have this one taken apart. This is our typical high pressure pump you'll find on our fuel injected engines. Now, they have an electric motor inside of it that makes the high pressure fuel. Now, there are sensitive components inside of this in terms of copper windings, steel parts, as well as some aluminum pieces that if it has exposure to air and ethanol and moisture, we can run into some corrosion problems. There are some things inside of here too that are sensitive to fuel deposits. So if we let fuel go bad inside of here, we're also going to cause irreversible damage. Now, these modules are not repairable. You have to buy them complete, and they are very, very expensive. So you want to take care of them so that they take care of you through the life of the engine. From there, now that the engine is pretty well prepped, you can take the opportunity to do some routine maintenance. You can change the spark plugs, you can change the air filter. It is highly recommended that you change the fuel filter at least once a year. We have run into numerous problems due to fuel filter restrictions on EFI engines and causing a performance-related issue because of that. The fuel filters are recommended to be changed every 100 hours. We recommend at least that or once every season. Also, you can take the opportunity to change the oil and filter on the machine if the engine is actually due for that service at that time as well. All of this ensures that the unit will be ready to go at the turn of the key next season. Now, before you park the unit for the season, you should also disconnect the battery. It is always just a safety practice to keep the battery from going dead. There is a slight draw that the fuel injection system may pose on the battery to keep the memory alive inside of it, and disconnecting the battery will keep that from draining the battery for you so it's fresh and ready to go.